You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Like and subscribe for more.
Hi, I'm Christy Doramus, and welcome to my Bridgehampton home. I am a creative consultant and event designer. Welcome to my Bridgehampton home, where I've lived for the past 5 years, and it is my happy place inside and out, so I'm excited to show you around. So everything in my home is collected, and it's something that I truly, truly love. Someone wise told me that if you find something you love, you will always find a place for it, no matter where you are. So that's my theory. So as I shop estate sales, thrift stores, yard sales, dumpster dive, I like to find things that really, really make me so happy, make my heart sing, and then I find a place for them within my home. But because of that, my home is a very collected place. There's tons of prints, tons of patterns, tons of reupholstered and reimagined furniture, and all of it I found piece by piece versus putting it together all at once, which makes it really personal to me. Everything tells a story, and everything is a conversation piece, really. So this is the entry into my home, the foyer, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, or at least it was to me, having this huge room to fill up with furniture, but I created a couple of different spaces so that the room could feel segmented and styled, and I'm gonna show you one of my favorite things. This is my statement wall. And I really loved this de Gournay panel, and I wanted to do my entire dining room in it, but I had to pick a little bit of a smaller space. So I chose this smaller wall that you really see when you walk in the door to make the statement that I wanted with the colors that I wanted, and then I picked colors from it to put around the space. My favorite part about it, because whenever you buy de Gournay, you can pick and choose the specific panels and sometimes even customize them, but my favorite panel was the lovebirds, so I knew that I wanted them to be front and center when you walked in. So those are my two lovebirds, me and my husband. This is a Scalamandre fabric called Marley that is discontinued. I found it on eBay and covered these vintage chairs that were in terrible shape. So that's one of my favorite tricks, is to buy something that has amazing bones and fix it up, put something fresh and new on it so that you feel like you have a brand new piece of furniture that's totally customized for you. So another place that I've done some reupholstering and reimagining is on this bench. This is a Schumacher fabric recovered on a $50 bench that I got from an estate sale and made my husband bring home through the roof of our car. On the weekends, he gets calls from me sometimes asking him to come pick up oversized furniture. This was something that fell into that category, but I love the way it turned out, and it has a story behind it. So my theory on pattern and print is more is more. And truthfully, I have zero formal design training, so everything is really chosen because I like it. And I do think that there are rules. There are rules that should be broken, but I personally like to stick within a color palette when choosing prints and patterns. So in this room, there's plenty of blues and greens that brings the indoors outside and the outdoors in. So I have a lot of patterns in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I think that they all work together because of the color palette. Although there's a stripe here, it's partnered with a floral, and I love these Scalamandre pillows. And this is a de Gournay covered silk stool that I found at Colette, which is an amazing resource in the Hamptons that you should know about. And I really put everything together piece by piece, item by item over time. So throughout my home, art is a big priority for me. I wanted to make sure that all of my art felt really personal. I found a lot of people on Instagram that I've commissioned pieces from, but this one might be my favorite piece of art that I own. I actually picked it up at Round Top in Texas, and it was a series of 3 paintings that was done for a wedding, I believe in Georgia. And my only regret is not getting there sooner because there was only one left. Someone got the other pair. And I saw it and immediately was like, I love this, but how am I gonna get this home? I live in New York City. And as soon as I said that, this amazing woman popped out of nowhere and said, oh, I'll just put it in my truck and I'll bring it back to New York for you, no problem. Like, here's my cell phone number. And we texted, and she's the coolest art collector. And a couple weeks later, it showed up at my apartment. Somehow we fit it through the door, but now it's in my home, and I think I'll have it for a very long time. So one of my favorite things about design is that you can always add a little surprise or something that's a little weird or confusing or off, because a perfect room to me doesn't exist, and I love to add a little element of surprise. So I love plants and love gardening, and I'm always searching for interesting planters that I can put around the house to make my plants really sing. And here at my entry, I have my little alligator planter to greet everyone. And sometimes people don't see it, and then it scares them a little bit. A dog certainly scares a dog, but it's just a little something that makes you smile when you walk in and makes you take yourself a little bit less serious. So I am always at estate sales. There's actually amazing estate sales every weekend in the Hamptons, so call me if you want to join. But this piece, I actually found it at one of the estate sales. It was actually kind of broken in a few different pieces, and the woman was like, just take it. I mean, we got to get this out of here. It takes up too much space. It's broken. So I brought it home and I repaired it. And now it's sort of the anchor of my living room, and it's where I put some plants and just little things that are meaningful to me, my brass crab collection. So from the living room, we're gonna move right in here into my dining room. This table, I still don't know how I found it, but I got it on The RealReal. So check there for home goods. You might be surprised what you find. And these chairs are so special to me. My dad actually painted them for me. I bought them on Cherish and had them recovered, and he and I did a backyard project and painted the chairs, so they're really special to me. So this piece of artwork might be at the top of my list of favorites. It is a Hunt Slonim painting, and my husband gave it to me when we had our son last year. So it's very special and sits here in the middle of the dining room. And just because more is more is more when it comes to color and pattern for me, I had to cover the fireplace in this Schumacher wallpaper, because why not? And I think the art sits nicely against it and all of my plants, and it just creates some interest and breaks up this room a little bit. So wallpaper your fireplace, wallpaper everything. Inside the cabinets, wallpaper it. So one of my favorite things to do is connect with artists on Instagram and hear their stories and support their work. And this piece is by an artist named Millie Sims. She's out of Charleston. And I saw on my friend's Instagram that she did this series of Audubon's Birds of America in her really cool geometric style. And I was like, I need the flamingo. And I called her and she said, oh, that's wonderful. You can pick it up at the gallery on King Street. And I'm like, no, I live in Bridgehampton. And she said, oh my gosh, how did we connect? And it was through Instagram. So throughout my home, there's lots of nods to Texas and Louisiana. My husband's from Texas. I'm from Louisiana. So I have my little Texas bowl. And my New Orleans books. This book is actually our guest book from our wedding. So everyone signed the inside. And every time I pass by it, I open the page, and I don't know, it just reminds me of a really happy day. So because I'm a big gardener, I love to bring my flowers inside and put them all over the house. I have tons of plants, tons of flowers. And one of my favorite things to collect are unique and interesting planters, which are not as easy to find as you might think. But anytime I see a beautiful, interesting brass planter, I pick it up, whether it be a punch bowl that I turn into a planter. My plants are my other babies, so I spend a little quiet time in the mornings with my little watering can going around watering all of them before everyone wakes up. So gotta do what you gotta do, but they're all happy. So this is my wing of the house, and you are welcome by my brass bird, Petey. I sit in this window and read magazines, look out over my garden. I'm a big plate collector. I'm into a plate wall, so I've done a lot of plate styling up here. So this is what I like to call my ladies' lounge. And I didn't know how I was gonna use this space when we moved in, but over time, after dinner, my girlfriends and I have come in here for a glass of wine or a margarita and some really good conversation. So I've learned to enjoy it as a little after dinner place to spend some time with my friends and catch up, or just during the day, read a magazine. It's a little Palm Beach, granny, Golden Girls all mixed in together with my two favorite colors, pink and green, which go with everything. I have a lot of birds. I'm realizing I have a lot of birds in my house. I think I might be a little bit of a crazy bird lady, but this is actually one of the first pieces of art that I commissioned when we bought the house. It's by an artist named Megan Karn, and she did a duo of these for me on either side of the room. And then I found this also matching pair of benches from Housing Works for $40 and had them recovered in this Schumacher velvet. So when I shop at estate sales, thrift stores, resale shops, I'm always looking for amazing pieces with great bones, whether it be the woodwork or detailing on a dresser or the curve of a piece that feels unique to me. It's always that little touch of something that's unique that I love, but I don't necessarily see elsewhere, versus finding something that might be mass produced or something that everyone else has. So it's always that unique touch of a vintage piece that I've never seen before or feels really unique to me. So that's what makes me go for a piece. So these chairs were upholstered in a hideous brown fabric, and most people would have passed them up, which is probably why they were $40. But I loved the curve of the chair and how beautiful they were. And of course, they fit right here in this space, but also a pair. Buy a pair. If you find a pair of anything, always get the pair, because a pair is not easy to find. So believe it or not, the pink and green theme is not over. It continues in the rest of my wing of the house into my pink and green bathroom with my pineapple wallpaper and pink soap, pink art. It's all pink and green. What can I say? I love pink and green. If you go to an estate sale, go into the linen closet, because it's always the last place that people look, but that's where I find the most amazing things that are hand done. And so I keep my tablecloths in here. I need to find a way to catalog them, but all mostly found at estate sales. I love to entertain. I love to make any casual dinner more formal and more fun. It's always more fun with a little nice napkin or a nice tablecloth, a nice piece of china. Selecting a favorite is tough, but I do love these tablecloths with all of this incredible handwork. These are super old, and I love how detailed they are. You just can't find things like this now. It's just so impossible to find things with this much beauty and detail now if you were to buy it at a mass market store. This is my room where I sort of organize all my garden supplies and my craft supplies. I try to keep it as organized as possible. Look, all my colors are labeled. But in my drawers, I keep my napkins color coordinated so that they're easy to shop from if I'm doing a dinner. Here, some reds and some pinks down here. And it just makes me happy. So now I'll take you into my family room where we spend the most of our time. And I'm not one of those people who can say I hide my TV because it's always on, usually golf. But this is where my family spends time. My son plays, we watch TV, and there are yellow chairs and a lot of lemons. I don't know if it was the limoncello or what, but on my 30th birthday, my husband took me to Capri and I came back and was lemon obsessed. There was a hotel we stayed at called Caesar Augustus, and every morning they have the best lemon carrot juice. I've tried to recreate it 1,000 times. I can never get the recipe right. But you would go out under the awning with the white and yellow stripes and drink my lemon carrot juice. And when I came back, I knew I wanted a lemon room. So among all the lemons in my lemon room, my favorite item has to be this pair of planters, the lemon planters from the Ceramici Castle. And every time I look at them, I'm reminded of my trip in the Amalfi Coast. So because this is my family room, I did choose an indoor-outdoor fabric for the chairs, and I Scotch guarded it as soon as they arrived. So everything is easy to clean, especially with kids running around. The white couches are actually pretty easy to keep clean because you can just wash the cushions or, clean with a little bleach. But this room is very, very livable and family friendly. So with all the pattern all over my home, this is really my sanctuary where I come to rest at the end of the day, my bedroom, where it's cool, calm, serene, and peaceful. I love this wall color by Farrow & Ball. It's called Blackened. And seriously, if I had to live with one paint color for the rest of my life, I would choose this color. I've had it in a couple of different bedrooms. It looks amazing with the light. It's the perfect light bluish, not too blue, not too gray, and it's just so peaceful. And that serene theme is sort of continued in this room, which my husband likes to call the relaxation room. We were inspired by these amazing lounge chairs that are sort of reminiscent of the chairs at the Mayflower Grace Spa. So this is where we come to relax, read a book, look at a magazine. I wish I could say I spent more time in here than I do, but on a day when I can, it's a good day. So I have to say my bird theme around the house continues a little bit in this room with my swan console that I found online. And it's kind of 70s, but I like it. And my swan painting from Megan Carn that sits in here. It's just peaceful. I have a lot of swans in my garden, big swan theme. But I thought swans, peace goes along with the calm vibe of this room. So welcome to my 1-year-old son Jackson's bedroom. Such a happy place, filled with all of his toys, which are always all over the floor, real life. When decorating my son's nursery, I couldn't commit to a wallpaper or a paint. I really wanted to keep it neutral in case I changed my mind and make it a room that he can really grow into. So I kept the walls white and just added a ton of art. So some of the art I've sourced over the years. I am known to keep tons and tons and tons of frames in my basement. I always buy a good frame no matter what's in it. And then I put art that I find into the frame versus having to have it always professionally framed. On his crib, my mom actually made the bumper and the bed skirt for the bed. So just a little touch from the grandparents. These chairs actually used to be in my living room, and because they were light blue and went with his nursery, they live in here. But that's just something that I can take out and put somewhere else, maybe once he grows out of it. His nursery is really a culmination of things that I found around the house. I really didn't purchase a lot of furniture when I had a baby. I really just tried to make what I had already work in the space. So now it feels like an adult place. And now I'll take you to the part of my home where I personally spend the most of my time, in my garden. Welcome to my garden. And just like my interiors, my garden has been put together piece by piece. It all just started with one piece of grass, and my husband actually helped me design it on Excel. So we're amateurs here, but we're learning. Every day is a school day, and I just love seeing at the beginning of the season to the end, everything that grows, coming out here in the morning, seeing what's in bloom, picking flowers, setting them on the table, being outside in nature. It's a great respite from the busyness of New York City, and it's truly my happy place. Thanks for coming to visit me. I'm going to take these inside and get dinner ready.
Thanks for watching. For more home-worthy content, be sure to like and subscribe.